We are locked in now to Champion Select. The first phase almost locked in as well. One last one here from Team EnVy, 16 seconds for their choice. They are actually looking at quite a bit of support hit here. Hakuho gaining some respect out of picks and bans. Yeah, a lot, actually. Making sure that they ban out the Thresh and then the Morgana from him so he doesn't have those pick champions. They put him on, they put him onto Karma, which was pretty good for them. Now there's a decent amount of things currently left up. The Kalista, the Maokai, which was not picked or banned last game, which is kind of a crime in my mind, but that is super aggressive. Okay. Wow. Yeah. Insta-lock, Rek'Sai and Varus, two champions we haven't really seen EnVy bringing out the past few weeks. Yeah. But they are going to. With no hesitation, Kalista, Janna just as fast as EnVy have an answer before we get thrown into the second ban phase. They may just use that full time. This is lightning round pick and ban. So Moon going back to the Cho'Gath, I assume, could be for balls in the top lane. You know, he's looking for those one-shot feasts. He didn't get any last game. He messaged me afterwards. He's like, I was real sad. He was ready to do it, and I was ready for it to happen. But we'll see if he gets another round at it here. He wants it again. You know that's why he picked it. Look at this. EnVy are just going for win the lane. So we're actually going back a few patches way here. Back. Welcome to the beginning of spring. No, seriously. Let's see what these builds are. Lane control once again. We saw it was the Caitlyn with the Karma last time. You want to bring more damage to a lane. How about Varus Zyra? So EnVy's going to keep that ticket in play. What is the answer here now? Second phase ban. Jarvan gets the first hit from the Team EnVy. And now the side of FlyQuest. Mid laners, I assume. Yes. Yeah, Niski. Yeah. Might see a Syndra next, although Cassiopeia, I think. Yeah, because High didn't have too tough of a time against that Syndra. Get the Hex Drinker in lane phase. It's not too bad. Camille getting taken away, so they don't have the scaling card for the top lane. And a final ban here for FlyQuest. Thinking about that, Cassio. Yeah, I think you ban Cassio. You could ban Syndra if you're worried about them last picking it, but I feel like that's not a huge deal. The Cassiopeia up against tanks is probably a bigger deal. And you'd have to draft more engaged to reach her, but okay. I think Seraph has been pulling a few Jace bans, like even in first phase. They don't want him to have a winning bottom and top lane, but I feel like the Gnar is going to do that as well. Yeah. So, what does Balls play into the Gnar? Is his Aurelia ready? He's got the Yasuo. It's not banned. Still have the Renekton. Have the Kennen. I mean, long range can be a nuisance, but if you fall behind at all, it becomes a nuisance to be Kennen. You go down very fast. They're going to go ahead. No, they have the Ori and give themselves a few more seconds to think about what will be in that top lane. Yeah, Orianna makes sense. Another shield in this composition. A little bit of engage / disengage for them as well, and high magic damage from the mid lane. So we'll see what he's able to do with here. It also blocks a Cassiopeia pick, so you don't really have to ban it, because you can just play Orianna into it, and it's a good pick. Yeah. A lot of discussion here. One of High's most picked still will be the Kennen. So they're going to look to shut down Seraph with the long range of Balls Kennen. It's been a while since he's got to play that once again. He does love to, though, one of his favorites. Now on the side, mid lane for Niski. Still has the Cassiopeia left. Wouldn't be too bad of a matchup. Yeah, I don't know if you want to play Cassio here into the Orianna, and the fact they don't have as many tanks. This may actually be another Syndra game because of the fact that they don't have many tanks. You have about four squishy members on FlyQuest that you could really ultimate and feel good about. So the Syndra feels like the better pick here. I like it. It also allows you to win pretty much every lane across the board. So EnVy, I think, actually have 4 winning lanes, and they have the more aggressive jungle matchup. So EnVy could go ahead and just win across the board and try to invade. I'm looking at LirA because he had a game where he was playing the Gragas, had some early moves, dies twice, and then does nothing for the rest of the game. So we're seeing him on a more aggressive pick here to try and increase the tempo of the early game. There it is, 20 seconds, both sides locked in. Champions revealed in their positions. High taking the Orianna to the mid lane. Excuse me. And we're going to see the rest of the teams locked in. Seraph does take that Gnar to the top. Balls answers with the Kennen, Think Card, and Violet with a firm handshake. And they make their way to the back. Hashtag FlyWin, hashtag EnVyWin. Let's see who can grab this game. FlyQuest, that late game quadra kill on Corki, plus the run through of a giant Cho'Gath, helping FlyQuest get to victory last time on the crazy shell of WildTurtle. Now can Team EnVy right the ship here, bring us to a game 3. We are about to be on the Rift.
I'm looking at some EnVy stats really quickly. And I haven't looked at these in a while, but they still actually stay about the same. EnVy on blue side have 15 wins, 2 losses. They've only ever lost 2 blue side games. And then red side, they've lost 15 games and only won 4. So EnVy are still struggling on blue side, but thriving. Or sorry, struggling on red side, but still thriving on blue side. 15-2 on blue side. It's actually pretty crazy, because you always play at least one blue side game against every team, right? So that means they've won blue side against the top teams. They've won blue side against top teams multiple times.
They relate to home colors.
Yeah.
Feel very strong when playing under the banner of blue.
Actually, slight adjustment. Sorry, they're 14-3 because of the way the last game went.
Right.
So they end up having a loss there, even though it was a great early game for them.
It's a great loss.
Yeah, it was a great loss. It was great. No, it was a great early game for them. They were up 2.4K, and their blue side seemed to be something that was quite strong for them. But FlyQuest might be hitting a little bit of that mid-season surge. We saw something like this kind of last split as well, where they had a dip, and it was like, what is FlyQuest doing with all these crazy picks? Got things together, made it to playoffs, made it to the 3rd, 4th place match.
It's well, yeah, this will be a little different, as you're saying. It's kind of like FlyQuest started in spring almost near their ceiling and then dipped here, there. They're having a chance to ramp up a little bit with the meta and with everything that's happening.
Yeah.
Seems to work a little bit clean.
You want to talk about meta, though? This game, if you showed me the screenshot of this game and asked me what patch this was, my immediate answer would not be 7.14, except that the Cho'Gath jungle kind of gives it away. That's it.
We had to roll back.
Yeah. For this week. If that Cho'Gath wasn't in the jungle or in this game, and it was anything else, I would just be like, oh yeah, this is from spring or something, right? This is from like summer.
Oh, you got Corki in there. This must be a world patch.
Yeah, I actually think
Triforce it.
Oh, I actually think Zyra support is Hakuho's most impressive champion to me. Every time I watch him on Zyra support, he'll have like those grasping roots, and he'll also have the strangle thorns that win an entire team fight by himself.
Yeah.
Over under. How many people does he do more damage than in this game?
Ooh, I don't know.
4.5?
Could be.
5.5?
Max out over LirA, have Seraph. Well, let's see though. Paulo hits some good shots, not the really piercing arrows anymore. He's going for the autos, so.
I would say Hakuho does more damage than, I'll say 8 people in this game.
8? Oh, so you're adding both. I thought you just meant his
both.
Team.
Not his team. I would say 8. I feel like he's gonna out-damage everybody except for maybe High.
He's gonna build like I built Brand and just go Leandries into Rylai's. Do it.
I mean, I don't think you'll be disappointed this game.
I hope not. I'm gonna hold you to that now.
Yeah, people kind of gravitated away from things like Zyra because of the fact that support items like Ardent Sensor are so strong now, and the Redemption became so strong as well.
Play something with a coin and get a bunch of gold.
So now you kind of go for, hey, look at this. We're going for all these different supports who try to just keep their AD carry alive. He's like, I'm just going to keep trying to kill the AD carry. People were talking about like Doran's Shield becoming meta and stuff and like pushing Zyra out. Now, Doran's Shield, not everybody buys it anymore. Right? Got a nerf.
Yeah.
Small nerf. I feel like people just kind of realize that playmaking supports have better mid-game impact.
It feels good, too, to be able to have that impact. Nobody's really looking at the support too much for those plays, and this time they're going to have to pay attention. Also provides great effect to Moon trying to get in to eat anybody. You just say, nope, Stranglethorn, you're locked up. He's got to walk real close to get that in. And wait for the counter gank up here. Moon just hanging out.
Yeah.
LirA will not show.
Yeah, Seraph once again playing safe under his turret because LirA goes to the bottom side. This matchup, playing that little who wins what lane game. I feel like it's pretty even. I feel like Kennen probably has an advantage. Not so much in tune with the Kennen meta or matchups. Actually, they're going to miss each other. Ships in the night here. LirA is going to go to the top side as Moon is looking for the dive here as a Cho'Gath. Don't feel like that happens, but they're going to try to go. Balls. Caught a bit.
One. Now they're going to see Moon. He actually has to flash forward.
He's got the slow, though.
Out of that. Sarah's going to keep going. One last shot from the boomerang. Can he jump out in time? Red buff burn. Dodges the rupture. A double kill for Niski. Where is that coming from as he runs up to the top side? Very low on the bottom. Oh, slivers of hell. Apollo gets the shot, and Summoner heal just at the last second. It was who could hold the utility summoners. And EnVy comes up big across the map.
Yeah, and Apollo ends up getting a little bit more there at the end with the little extra level up so he doesn't die. And across the map, that's 4 kills. We're talking about winning lanes for Envy. Win across the board.
There's an early game lead.
Yeah.
Right there for you. Here's this again.
Tried to get in there, and then Seraph just goes aggressive. Niski had roamed up, gets the double kill, and Seraph barely gets out. This roam from Niski made the difference there. So that nothing goes back in this. Hakuho, look at that. Hakuho! Hakuho pretty much kills him by himself, and then Apollo comes in the glory, stealing AD carry, and Apollo so close. And gets the level up there. The minions were so close to killing him.
The greatest thing about Thunderlords on those APs in the bot lane is it's so effective early when they don't have too much health yet, and they were just not expecting that damage. Absolutely absurd. And Hakuho's going to be looked to doing that again. I think I might have to agree with you on your over-under here as we start things off almost a kill a minute.
I would say Hakuho has the best Zyra in the NA LCS. Like, I'm pretty sure. Like, every time I see him play Zyra,
almost cursed him
it's like a free win. It doesn't.
Quick.
Man, I would have believed in him. The 1v3, easy.
That's those plans. Meta had 1 seed left and not even charged up, but pull it off all day. Leaving the vision in the jungle as Envy is actually in and out of these positions, so they're seeing if FlyQuest is following them in. They're really able to take control of any of those situations there. Hakuho obviously just had the flash, but no more comes of it. Niski feeling pretty great, gets to walk out of lane and 2 kills for himself to start things off, and he keeps the CS even on top of that. Yeah,
he got to shove in high early and then went for the roam at the right time. And they're just kind of Envy, we see them play to some lanes, and you see the back and forth of how Seraph plays passive. Then when he has LirA there, that's when he immediately goes aggressive. And Balls is just trying to shove in because he's like, I'm not supposed to win this matchup, and he's letting me win this matchup. You like to get what you can take early if you're not supposed to win the matchup, which is understandable.
Hello, LirA.
Yeah,
over the wall?
Yeah, over the wall from behind?
Yep. Ooh. Just in that Raptor pit as High continues to play the top side. I mean, that's where he has a vision ward, so he's definitely playing smart in his environment. There was a ping down bot lane. Who's the roamer? Niski is coming down. He has Ghost coming up in just a few seconds. They're ready to possibly capitalize on that again.
And he's got ulti. LirA's coming down the mid lane, and they know this isn't warded.
You see him prepping the spheres
because High didn't follow, so... Yeah, just prepping. Yeah, they know he's going to go for the blue buff now, so LirA covering that side, clearing out the wards. I feel like you're going to get the push from Niski. So now Niski gets the roam again. Because you take blue buff and it gives you that little jungle indicator that the blue buff's coming up soon, you're going to see the bottom lane walk back, get out of here. And Niski's not even going to go over the wall with the blast cone. He's just going to hang around.
Got him. I like Hakuho standing a bit ahead as well to get those passive seeds planted nice and close to FlyQuest if they were to come back into the turret. And there you go, 3 just with 1 Q, setting up 2 under the turret to try and hide them. Pretty cheeky.
And this lane hasn't had a jungle pressure, right? This was a strict 2-on-2 win for Hakuho and Apollo. And now they're going to get this turret at 8 minutes. And a 30 CS advantage.
2 times in a row. Last time, as you said, Caitlyn Karma. An aggressive CS lead from Envy in the bot lane. Now Apollo is a Varus and Hakuho Zyra. They do the same thing. But can they bring it out of the lane again this time? We saw Envy actually switching lanes before they were able to drop 1 turret. Now they move with that power off the bat.
Yep. And High's in a bad position now too. Like, every lane died except for High's. But his is a laner who got 2 kills that he's up against now. And you saw he blew his cleanse and his flash there just to avoid the damage from the Syndra coming through. Because he actually probably would have died if there had been more of a chase afterwards. And it looks like Niski actually running Thunderlords instead of going for Storm Raider Surge has become pretty popular on Syndra for the chase down after the ulti. But he's just going for that damage with the poke and harass, and it's been working out for him so far. But yes, like I said, High is the guy who didn't have the lose in his lane immediately, but he's up against somebody who roamed and got fed instead of High, giving up one of those kills himself. So now he has to deal with it.
You gotta manage that situation.
Yeah, you're kind of like, what did you do to my lane?
It's not even like somebody came and messed it up either.
Yeah, but also like, why didn't you roam after? He's under the turret. But that's what pressure is all about. And the fact that Envy drafted such an early game composition for themselves in terms of winning lanes, they have to do that. And they did it. So full credit to Envy in terms of having those early skirmishes and not being caught off guard. And that's Seraph playing Gnar like Rumble. Just use the ulti to clear the wave. And not back. Okay.
Yeah, I was wondering too. He's like, yeah, maybe.
Now back? All right.
He'll let the wave even out first, I guess. He will have the teleport to get back. Let's see if he uses it. He won't be missing too much. Even if he doesn't, he should be able to just run to lane. Scuttle control grab for bottom side. Next Drake is a mountain, as they seem to be a bit more effective for the teams this game.
Yeah, but the Infernal Dragon is exactly what you want as Envy.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
You have everybody who's going to make use of that. The Rek'Sai likes it for the true damage on her E, and then you have a support that's going to make use of it as well. So overall, we'll see. What
great use of Tremor Sense here.
Yeah, they see the highs there. Everybody kind of rotating over. Moon and High will try to prevent a dive.
Got the Siege Wave. All right, Lemon's here. A little too scary now. Easy support pop-ups and Monsoon to save this dive if it did happen, but Envy is just ready to pounce at any moment with the way they've been playing this second game against FlyQuest. Living on that bot side jungle, completely warded up, so may lose a bit of pressure on RifTurtle if something were to happen down here, but so far in control. That's just a possibility that FlyQuest could get back on.
And having this much tempo early is actually pretty abusive because you don't have those upgraded sweepers yet. People aren't level 9. So you're seeing it very difficult for FlyQuest to regain control of their bottom side jungle. Like they can't walk in here with the sweepers or anything like that. They have to just sweep a single spot, place down a control ward in places that they know have been warded, but then they sacrifice their control wards that have been placed across the map. And so right now they need to get those down, try to regain control. Going for Apollo here.
Chain of Corruptions actually didn't hit Lemonnation. He's free to run as it locked up only one. Heal for a heal. And he may just be able to get the Zyra. Turns around and they say, that doesn't seem right. He may have some buddies, and he does. So this is actually going to be pressure towards the bot, but Envy is able to roam top with that pressure Seraph has been creating and the rest of the team controlling the lanes.
Moon, all right, he's going to walk in after disabling it.
I mean, if he hits it, it's good, right?
He can nom it, he can nom it.
Yeah, exactly. Can he get in? He's going to get scattered as soon as he tries. They're going to give him too close. Oh. No, smite for smite. Moon goes early. Moon goes down. Slicing Maelstrom from Balls as they're a little miscoordinated on this one.
Yeah, everybody kind of preoccupied.
Uncoordinated.
Yeah.
Words.
People are kind of trickling in a little bit late there. Moon didn't go for the full flash into the ulti there to try and kill it. And Niski picks it up and he's immediately going to use it mid there. Try to get this mid turret. That's just how they're trying to keep that tempo up. Like I said, it's hard to get those minion waves pushed up or like those control wards or wards out of the enemy jungle. So, gotta open up the map.
I really think we should have given Shelly way more T-Rexy arms. I'm so much.
Small arms.
Dives into a turret, but she, these minions.
These minions. There's so many.
Get them out of my way. Oh, great use of that, though.
I like how the name Shelly's catching on.
It is. Always. Good job.
I feel like Moon can actually get in there and eat it.
Super close.
He can smite eat it at that point.
Oh.
But he walked up and smited it at 560, and it ended it up with 20 HP, and that's when LirA just finished it off, and Moon dies as well.
The attempt was there. A nice try by Moon, but he gets taken down too quick. 3 kills for Niski now, who's feeling very good on this Syndra in the mid lane. We said sometimes this guy can be very quiet in a game, and then the next game he could definitely be the star of it. There's a great pickup here for Envy to catapult a bit of their mid-season.
I'm looking at speaking of catapulting, just this gold on the supports. Like we're trying to keep. Oh yeah, and Age of Empires 2, get me in there. I'm looking at the Eye of the Oasis, the ancient coin line. He's earned 718 gold from it on Lemonnation, who's behind. Hakuho on the Frostfang, which is the upgraded one, has only earned 455, so he's actually just a full kill or 300 gold behind just on the support item gold generation. So Ancient Coin is incredibly powerful in terms of how frequently you get those drops. I'm actually quite impressed by it. So it ends up being a little bit, I would say, overtuned right now in terms of the gold generation.
Everybody's talking about it. I mean, like you said, or like we see Threshes grabbing that sometimes.
And like the Janna has a Dark Seal. This is pretty much a free Dark Seal, by the way, because of the gold generation that happened.
It's a really good point.
His Dark Seal over his opponent is pretty much what he's been able to cash in on. If this Janna starts getting those shields, that becomes that high AP Janna shield in those games that you hate to play because she's got like 20 Magi stacks and never dies.
I wonder what that is. I wonder what the time would be. You get that Dark Seal, kind of like, yeah, you're in lane for 4 minutes, you're pretty much good to go or something. It'd be interesting to find out. Coming up on 15 minutes, In this game, though, Envy with an even bigger lead than they had last game. It's where do they pressure it? How do they continue these objectives? 3 seconds on that mountain.
Yes. Mountain Drake, I think, is the one you've shoved out mid, you've shoved out bottom. Mountain Drake spawning right now. LirA's on that side. 100%. Go for it.
All those wards placed down on the bottom side of the map, as well as seeds. That's just all those other red dots is Hakuho having run through there long enough with the passive counting down and ticking back. So they have complete vision, as well as an ability to refight in that area.
All right, it's lane swap time. Now, you're going to have Apollo Hakuho back. Top side. Time to go to the top side. Get that last turret in the outer side and put all your wards on the bottom side. Seraph will now just go to the bot.
Sound like an auctioneer for a second.
Yeah, bot side. Who wants the bottom lane? Bottom lane.
Bottom lane. Who's gonna get bottom lane?
Bottom lane.
1, 2, 3, 4 people bottom lane.
Sold to the man with the fur.
Who has fur this game?
Seraph.
Oh, he is.
It's
yeah.
not.
No. I was like, Kennen, maybe? But yeah.
Oh, yeah. Kennen does have fur underneath all that.
Hakuho to mid. It looks like he's actually just doing a bit of warding for the team. A solo mission. And I guess you can kind of do that with Zyra. You have long range crowd control. You can always ult if things get a little too scary. And he's going to go ahead and do just that. Really allows Envy to open up a bit of the pressure they're allowed to create if they don't have to have everybody warding at once.
All right, and now top lane turret goes down, trying to trade bottom for it. Now is the moment. What happens on the top quadrant of the map? Is there a dive here onto the Kennen? Is there a dive here on the Orianna? Looks like Niski actually walked away as they tried to dive.
Whoa,
so, what's going on?
All right.
Team? What? Hello? It looks like Hakuho and LirA tried to dive onto high.
Yeah.
And Niski actually ran over to go help bottom. So they just trade 1-for-1 in turrets.
It doesn't look like they're going to get too much more off of that mid lane either. High being able to pressure out nicely. Apollo and Balls going at it in the top side.
Yeah, now with all those outers out, you just ward up this area, you look for picks, try to get something.
Oh.
Now there's the reinforcements on the top side. If they don't make something happen now, then it's just going to have to be a back off.
Oh, that's annoying. Plants over the wall, but you can see that damage going down ever so slowly from Hakuho. Once they get into the fights and he gets to throw out the AoE is when it comes up big. Fly getting out that. 2 summoners there, dodges back at Apollo.
Yeah, Lemonnation flashed and also gave him a shield just in case. Meanwhile, Seraph was pushing the bottom lane. They lose some CS there, shoves it into the turret, and now he's going to go roam through the jungle, clear out some control wards. Look at that, FlyQuest in terms of deficit. Haven't come back from anything greater than a 4,000 gold deficit at 15 minutes. Well,
it's going to be a tough one.
Making history?
Right now. Make it happen. We already had 1,000 kills today. Let's put some more on the docket. LirA and the rest of the team, as we said, living now on this side of the map. A very strong game for themselves, hitting item spikes very early. Get to start on second-tier turrets, sub 20 minutes here.
Yeah, that's what this comp is all about.
Yeah.
And this is funny.
Very quick.
This is a ridiculous composition in the meta right now in 7-14. Like, none of these picks, I would say, are like pretty much that #1 pick you would go after. Maybe the Syndra,
yeah.
Maybe the Gnar, like that's stretching it in some matchups. So
it's a crazy preference because we see both these teams also just foregoing the Maokai all the way through.
Well, they're saying stylistically, let's just play to our strengths. It's not one of our strengths to play on the back foot or to play like that engaged style.
Yeah.
So they're just going to try to split push, play the map. And so far it's been working for Envy up against FlyQuest. And maybe it's the way that they approach this matchup specifically, but it's been working out for them in this game.
We saw Echo Fox doing the same thing, taking a game off of TSM, playing just that, a little Camille to the top side and what they really wanted throughout the rest of it. These teams are feeling a lot, or finding a lot of comfort in kind of their own play here towards the end of the summer split. Red's gonna get picked up by Apollo. Looks like they're actually on their own side of the map for a few moments before they get back into the face of FlyQuest. It's what they need to do. They have to keep pressuring. That catch-up's going to be their Balls with the Blade of the Rune King. Get himself into some 1v1s if he wants to. WildTurtle with that finished up as well. So they can also drop an objective decently fast.
Yeah, Apollo a little bit ahead, though. Up 2,700 gold. So just a little bit. But Apollo is definitely a good spot. He's basically up an entire Runaan's Hurricane. I think that you'd be able to start up the Baron as it spawns with this team. Just make sure it doesn't get stolen away by the Cho'Gath. I feel like let's think about this for a second, because do they really want to do the Baron as soon as it spawns with the possibility of FlyQuest getting back in the game off of it. I feel like instead you try to still play the map. I don't know how quickly you want to go for that Baron. You're already kind of getting the enemy team to bleed objectives, to bleed control of this game. Apollo's up 2 levels, same level as the enemy mid and top laner. I think you're in a good spot. You're just going to get these tier 2 turrets slowly, right?
Yeah, I agree. The stairs may be a little bit hard once they get to the base for the inhibs. A lot of wave clear coming from this side of FlyQuest, and a Baron would do damn good to stop that clear.
Never thought about it that way. I hate stairs, so getting into the base. That's what's been holding me back this whole time, the stairs.
Damn stairs. So I created a ramp on the right side. And the base gates, just use those. Chain of Corruption over onto high. He should be fine in that, but that's a pretty big ultimate down here. It seems like they just wanted a few taps on the turret, and they didn't even find that.
Yeah, they just want to get some chip damage. That'll be their last outer turret to take. They have control of the Dragon and the Baron areas. So, Envy, I feel like you don't have to rush anything right now. Don't get too ahead of yourselves. Go for that Ocean Drake as soon as it spawns. LirA will go ahead and hand off Blue to Niski, and then they'll have to take care of their top lane.
Ooh, there it is. Haunting guy, it's for Hakuho. Let the damage begin.
Yes.
I'm sad those aren't Stork boots, but it's all right.
Yeah.
Your own preference on your kicks, man. See what else is getting built up around the map. Not too many core items. That Locket of the Iron Solari will be very big for the team once Moon can finish that.
And everybody has some magic resistance as well, which I think is actually the best purchase in this game, because Gnar does % HP magic damage with the W. Hold on, WildTurtle. Oh. Oh.
Right to the face.
Oop.
It looks like they are going to be able to take out Apollo, but ever so slowly. Seraph starts to peel back. Ocean Drake goes down during this fight towards the top side, and with Hakuho separating the fight with his Stranglethorn, nobody really was able to get too much damage down.
Yeah, but Apollo's actually just super far ahead right now. He's up 2.7 thousand gold over his opponent in WildTurtle. So WildTurtle coming forward is like really aggressive once again, and he's trying to make that pick happen. But I feel like Lemonnation hitting him away, kind of pulling the panic button there on the Janna ulti, helped a little bit for Apollo and gave him some distance.
Both supports big zoning ults or starting ults. They can really get themselves in a good spot. Quicksilver Sash now for WildTurtle thrown into the mix so he can be a bit safer. The previous back for Apollo, not purchased this time, but he did get a BF sword in there for more damage. So these guys are going to be looking to really start these fights and end them quickly. Yeah,
Apollo's doing that thing where you farm the sideways as the AD carry. And you kind of 1-3-1 with an AD carry being one of your split pushers. And he's the highest gold in the game right now. So it's a very common strategy for Envy, and teams have started to kind of analyze it a bit, like WildTurtle there trying to stay in the bush and catch him because you know he's going to try to push past that halfway point of the mid lane. And he's doing it again on top side.
Like he'll find anybody just yet. The wave gets pushed
in. Just collapse for Baron. It's a collapse for Baron because they have a gigantic wave on the bottom side, and Balls has no TP. As soon as they see Balls, they'll probably start this up.
There's 2 great waves as well. WildTurtle Lemonnation caring about the top, respect for the bottom, and that's going to actually crash in with just a few more waves. That should be at least 1.5 more. What is Envy going to be able to do?
I mean, you're losing out on CS on the bottom side here. And when you do this, you just give yourself an EXP advantage, right?
Yeah.
So you're looking at, oh, how is Seraph like a level up here, even though he's down in CS? It's the fact that he's been proxying a little bit more in terms of the waves. He's been around them. And there's no vision right now. And Envy are actually starting the Baron, I believe. Yeah, they are on it. It's half HP. But it's just to make sure that they can pull them in, and it's just a prank.
Just goofing, man.
Yeah, it's just a prank, man. Almost 10,000 gold lead off of just macro play. Not so much those kills.
The kills came fast. There were 4 kills in 4 minutes.
Yeah,
there's actually 4 kills in 4.5 minutes. One after that, just kind of trickling in. But you're very right. It is macro play.
Yeah, it got really slow after that. I mean, that's one of those things where if that happens in scrims, teams are just like, "Do you really want to play this out?
Should we restart?"
Yeah, I saw that whole scrim thing in Europe that they were talking about. Yeah, usually teams will be like, "Do you really want to play this out?" Because like teams that are good will just make sure that advantage of winning that was actually winning all 3 lanes because Niski got the double kill.
It was across the map.
Yeah, exactly. You killed the top laner, killed the jungler, killed both bottom laners. Your mid laner got 2 kills off of that. That game is pretty much over in that sense because you know, as a professional team, with an early game team like this, how to snowball. But I feel like Envy, because that happens in scrims where teams FF at that point, you have to learn how to close a game with an early game composition. So you would expect they have at least some experience with that.
Yeah.
Well, that's always something that can come back and bite you if you don't have kind of the patience.
Is that the thing? Does everybody just stop playing Envy at like 15 minutes when they've won too much?
I mean, that is legitimately happened to teams where they're just like, we don't know how to close the games because we crush everybody in the first few minutes.
Yeah.
And then they just want to FF, right?
Envy making a very good case for this one to end soon. They get Baron up. Don't even really have to have everybody ready for it to fight.
Yep.
As it's conceded by FlyQuest.
Time for that mid lane push, and then they have to take care of bottom lane soon. And you do want to play to the bottom lane and kind of move all those control wards you have on the top side of the map for Envy. You can see just 4 control wards just sitting out by the Baron. Move those to the bottom side, rebuy all the control wards. You see everybody except for Hakuho. He's going to go back, buy some now, upgrade his sweeper finally.
Juicy. It's like 3.5 stack on the bottom. It looks like that's going over to Apollo. And they'll be able to clear this one back up. He will meet balls just shortly into the lane. And you see FlyQuest also reading kind of where these wards will move for Envy. They're saying, let's get our vision down here before Envy starts to invade the jungle. Ever so slowly, minute and a half on Infernal. So whatever does actually happen down here, there's 3/4 left on Baron, or 2.5 you can see on the top right. So they can choose to pressure this and go ahead and go back and probably come back at least one more time with a bit of Baron left.
A decent amount of time here. Balls hang out in the bottom. Oh, Apollo almost hit him there with a blind shot. Just checking the bush. But yeah, Apollo 3 levels up now over WildTurtle, and because he gets that split push farm, he gets so much solo experience. He actually gets to look great because it always looks like he's just out CSing, kind of like the reckless strategy, right? You're gonna force down the turret, take the turret, go for the fight.
Double shockwave, hardly any damage following through there onto Apollo and Hakuho. And they're holding the summoner spell. Lemonnation with a gigantic heal coming out there as well as for himself. Monsoon's not going to help enough, though. 1 down on each side. That's damage for a support. How do they continue to end this out?
Oh, Seraph actually just got feasted on. He flashed, and Moon still had the flash feast buffered. So little Gnar ends up being a
little snack.
A little snack, yeah.
Imagine if you eat the big Gnar. Oh, that'd be great. What if you get more stacks? That'd be nice. Let's go, Riot. So this pressure still continues. They may have lost Seraph, but he has to teleport in as long as Envy has a decent ward, which they have a plethora of in that jungle. They'll be able to get right back into a play. Balls also, there's a few vision wards, maybe 1 if 2 for him to teleport to, but it's a go for broke play. If they lose a fight, they could be base, and things like that are happening in the meantime. Niski coming up with a kill.
Yeah, you don't get to play League of Legends. It's an AD carry. What year is it, Riv? 2017.
It's
AD carry lol. We're back.
There's the teleport in.
Infernal Drake actually up, but it looks like using those last 45 seconds of Baron buff is more important for Envy right now. Apollo actually flashed away there from the shockwave. He won't have flash. Just trying to get some distance. Trying to buy some time and delay, but multiple turrets are taking damage here because of the split push of Envy. 13,000 gold lead. Just trying to flex.
Doing a damn good job of it. I'm seeing gains, Zirene.
Yeah.
I am seeing some gains right now for Envy. It looks like the entire team is benefiting from this one. Oh, hit it. One last shot. Oh, my word. Prey-seeking indeed. LirA is able to pick that one up with a very dead IQ. And it looks like they're going to go for bot lane. They have not left this side of the map. Even when Seraph died and teleported back in, they waited the 30 seconds. They're here for the long haul.
Yep, just keep pushing. Seraph to the top side, going to go ahead and have that split push advantage. Frozen Mal complete for both top laners, but I feel like because of the level advantage for Seraph.
Who can hit harder? It's like the bell that goes to the top and you ring it. Whose mallet is better?
Ooh, the bell ringer.
I think in Gnar form, you're going to get a little more strength.
Yeah, just a little bit, but you kind of want to stay mini right now. I feel like Envy, I don't think we've had really a team fight at all. I think the closest you got was Moon trying to get the Rift Herald, and then everybody collapsing.
Yep.
Right now, though.
Hakuho low, kind of toying with death here. They do have to be careful they don't get themselves overzealous in these plays. A good shockwave could turn things around. Far from it at this point. It'd have to be a few shockwaves before FlyQuest would be back in control, but Envy is pushing their lead nicely. They're kind of over-pushing it, but holding off.
Yeah, exactly. I would say a few more items as well need to come through, but we're looking at points where Apollo was at the point that WildTurtle was at legitimately 10 minutes ago, right? Apollo now has an Infinity Edge. He's got a total of, he's got 2,000 gold in his inventory. He's got a total of almost 14,000 gold. And WildTurtle is now at 9,700. Bought a QSS second, so he really kind of delayed the damage he would be dealing. But overall, it's just Envy or Snowball, and trying to snowball hard and make sure that this game doesn't get stalled out. But FlyQuest have some wave clear with the Orianna. And the split push is not in their favor, but I would say it's something that they can hold up with right now. Yeah. But it's on Envy to close this game. Like, that's really what the execution part comes down to, is how well are they controlling the early game, or how well are they controlling the late game at this point. Because we saw them flounder a bit last game and lose that small advantage they had. And this is a much harder one to kind of mess up. Hakuho, though, down 2 levels, and those have been traded kind of into Apollo. Like, another reason Apollo just gets so much experience is that Hakuho is just not hanging around there. He's doing a lot of the warding.
He's like, wait, that's moving. I feel like I see someone. Couldn't get him immediately as he was underground, but does see and steal away the red buff. Very nicely done. And they'll have another smite up soon if they need to go for an objective. That's 1 minute on to Baron as they're going to start focusing their wards towards top side. Seraph gets to hang out bottom as his teleport, just a quarter from being up.
Yeah, this is one of those games where you're just going through the checklist as Envy and FlyQuest. I don't know if they're talking about the next game already or what's going on, because nothing is really happening for this team. Like, their engage tool is to throw in a Janna, maybe have a Rupture land from afar, balls TP. Because the early game, they weren't able to kind of take a fight that was advantageous or had a high probability of winning. And even then, they didn't really go for too many picks either. So FlyQuest kind of just been bleeding out, and that's never too fun.
I mean, to credit to Envy, it's so hard to even engage on this team if you want to without the Fate's Call. You're getting scattered by Niski, and Hakuho is just locking your entire team up. They have been able to shut down Moon walking into the front line, because that's all he had to do last game. He said, I have near 5,000 health, waste everything on me. And now they can just stop him dead in his tracks and choose the target they want to waste their abilities on. I shouldn't even say waste at that point. Get their return on investment. Apollo's recent investments, Hex Drinker, Caulfields, making him a little stronger as he heads up for that magic resistance fight.
Starting up Baron. FlyQuest are going to start running in. Seraph is also going to run in from the side, and it looks like they might try to go for a fight instead. They want to. I feel like Envy looking more for the game win here than just another delay, so they're going to try to get mid-priority.
There's a good push out on a few of the lanes.
Top. Looks like they're running to top.
Still past River. They are going to be able to use this one. This is their mid push, though. They try to get down Seraph. He's able to pull back, and now they're going to say, yeah, down towards bot. Let's try to run him ragged. Can we start Baron here?
Yeah, and this is such a difficult position to be in as FlyQuest. You're so far in behind. It's kind of like gets to that depressing territory. Anybody gets caught, it's over. But even then, you're kind of in that situation where how long has this game been over for, right? Kind of takes those hero plays, but even then, yeah, they hit Hakuho with that, but
still throw out the slows. Make sure whip vines don't allow anybody close. That's another thing. You don't even have to hit those stuns. You can just continue the slows.
Seraph down bottom, gonna try to pull balls there.
Very close. LirA not actually going to pop up Lemonnation, getting more control over the wards. And the situation around the Baron Pit. FlyQuest has used now all of their wards. One last up for balls before those far side alterations come up for High and Turtle. Where the teleport's possible. No wards just behind Baron. Anything FlyQuest does with balls will have to be in front of that. He could kind of hook over to the right side. You see right by Hakuho. That ward itself getting cleared now, though. A lot of options dwindling here for FlyQuest, but when will Envy activate theirs to get themselves in the game? Seems like Seraph will start to create that pressure.
Yeah. I don't know, man. This is Seraph's gonna try to maybe 1v1 balls. Yep.
They're almost allowing FlyQuest to give them too much respect. Say, yeah, you don't want to fight us, well then we won't fight you. We'll find another way to win. When in reality, Envy should just be like, no, you're going to fight us right now.
How big is our gold lead? It's 14,000. You get to the point where you're at 6 items, it doesn't mean much.
Potion of Wrath coming in for Apollo. Uses that, buys 2 vision wards for himself. And they're going to use those vision wards to throw at FlyQuest as they move up here. Coming up on 35 minutes into the game, as we said, a few of those kills came in the beginning, and everything has been structured around Envy finding the turrets, not FlyQuest. Now they need to do a little bit of both here and get that split push going down. Seraph back to the bot lane as Envy moves back court side for FlyQuest.
Elder Dragon, Baron, Janna, anything?
Words? I think the Elder Dragon's going to be a little bit more hype for these guys as that focus is already there from Seraph. They may try to just say, yeah, take the Elder, we'll take Baron, because having the minions stopped out would be great.
Yeah, Elder Dragon's a little easier to do as well.
Except they have 4 Drakes already, so I don't know how much you want to weigh that.
Yeah, I feel like Elder Dragon's a little easier to take, so they can take it with 1 or 2 people. Oh, Niski.
Cleanse.
Oh, use the QSS there. Got the shield.
Yeah. Good call. Where do they go? Banshee's Veil's taken off. Good scatter, then the cleanse. Making sure that High does not have a safe position to stand. With all of this reach and poke, the Envy can just keep throwing it. FlyQuest here down towards the mid lane. This is going to be their inhib. But balls could come from the bottom side.
Yep, they're gonna push.
Seraph.
Push this. Maybe go to bottom if that wave has been pushed up. Maybe make a pick. Or, yep, go bottom. See if they can get there. This is kind of risky to walk this way, though, so walk back. Oh, now they're in a compromised position. Apollo. All right. Whoa, LirA, you went back in.
Quite aggressive here from LirA. Goes in to flash out over the wall, but he says, hey, I'm absorbing those abilities. Fight back. Throw a little bit of the medicine back in their face. No kills come up there, and really the pressure is almost lost that Envy had coming in of pressuring that mid. Top is left alone.
Man, Moon had something there. Moon popped the Gargoyle Stone Plate, and he pressed R like 5 times on LirA. He actually, like, you could watch Cho'Gath kind of stutter 5 times, and then LirA flashed, and he flashed, because he was just getting frustrated by all of the stuttering that his champion was doing there. So he pressed R multiple times.
You don't play with your food.
Weird.
Just 1 bite.
Oh, done. Okay, it's time for Baron. Hakuho with the burn. Gonna try to check it out.
He's got the Sword Potion on. He's gonna have a little bit more. Rylai's is not finished for him as he goes for more damage in his build. It's just this Liandry's, but here comes the rest of the team. 3,600, 2,000 health now onto the Baron. It's gonna be hit up by Moon. He does get the chomp down, and now the fight as balls falls to the ground. It's also Moon falling. They have the Baron. They might be able to stop Envy a little bit longer, but Envy has a huge and powerful 5-man rush coming into the base.
Exactly. 5 men can just rush into whatever lane they want. They'll be able to kind of use the minions a bit to stall and buy some time. But Envy, I mean, they have poke. They have reach. They have some ways to close this game. There's been a single kill for FlyQuest all game. And it is the 5-man rush down mid. Was the Baron buff worth it? This is where we ask that question, and we'll have it answered.
Get some minions to help them out. And not the greatest wave clear against Baron minions for Envy, so this is actually great for FlyQuest that they were able to sneak their foot in the door, but it's only a bit of room they've given themselves. Envy looks to squash the rest of that and close the door right on FlyQuest before they can get it back open. Only a few kills still come into here. Envy is really working this around the fights and only taking them when they have to. Very interesting.
Interesting.
That is my choice of vocabulary.
I'm just gonna say the last word you said. Yeah, vocabulary. Just agree for the rest of the game.
It's what you do when you don't know what somebody's saying. You say the last word and high five.
Yeah, high five.
High five.
Hey.
There you go. It's perfect.
But this would be an incredible game if FlyQuest are able to come back in it, and really would be just like Envy. Feel like they're a little scared, right? Because FlyQuest won the first game. Yeah. Envy are in 6th place right now, and FlyQuest are right behind them in the standings. And this could be kind of the beginning of the end in terms of their hopes for the postseason. It's a bit of a ways off, but like I said, they have to play 4 of those top 5 teams.
Top 5 teams, high five.
High five.
See how they get into the top side of the map here. Minions are actually pushed out on the bottom. They have a good setup on mid, but those are super minions that will soon be in the base, so they're going to come even faster and be right on the front doorstep in just about 20 seconds. Not even 20 seconds, 2 seconds.
Yeah.
What I meant to say. I looked at the time and it's at 20 seconds. My brain starting to do the melting.
Yeah, melting.
Starting to melt.
Melt. Yes. Speaking of melting, Envy had no Elder Dragon. It's gone. It didn't give them as much gold as the Baron gave FlyQuest. FlyQuest are able to hold, and FlyQuest now have the buff for a little bit longer. Seraph might be looking for something. And we're gonna get a fight, the fight, one fight in the game.
It's gonna be a big one. They are starting. The fuse is lit. It's ticking down so close to blowing up, and it seems to have fallen in the water.
The fuse is lit. Riv, that would be the only thing that's lit about this game. I'm just saying. Because right now, it has just been back and back and back out. No, not even back and forth. It's just FlyQuest backing up slowly. Envy not really advancing. Bottom lane got cleared out.
Bot lane pushing in. Clear. They're going to have to pay respects to it or pay respects to the final fight. LirA gets out. Shots onto high.
There's
got to get back to the fountain, but he can't. Scattered out as well. Turtle throws back Lemonnation to save him with the Fate's Call, but all of FlyQuest is still alive. All of FlyQuest has the chance to home guard, and Envy's taking down top and hip. All three are down right now as the minions try to do work onto the Nexus. Winions piling in now for Envy to take it to game 3.
Need to not get picked if you're FlyQuest as people are getting home guard and coming back in. Just clearing out the minion waves, triple inhib down. How many seconds on Niski's ulti?
Who's the final shot? Where's the final fight? I don't even think they want to engage because Envy's looking to disengage if they get hit here. They just want to make sure Apollo has the safety. That's Seraph caught up. Initiation going in on a turtle. LirA said, my team got hit, so I have to go in. A great choice and trade coming in from Envy as they were able to back him up with huge shields. And finally, a Nexus turret goes down. Envy looks for an inhibit that goes up, and they look back at the Nexus turrets.
Yep, because there isn't that gigantic tank there. They can just keep pushing. That was the only tank on the FlyQuest squad. Niski had used his ulti again. They're trying to go in. WildTurtle, dead.
Completely out of mana. Has to get off the base. Envy finally able to crack the last layer here. Seraph goes Gnar mode to keep himself alive nicely. Definitely won't be going down with the extra HP. Oh no, he dives out of the fountain and makes me a liar as Envy looks to pad the stats. They go for the last hits and the Nexus going over to them. We're going to a game 3.
Envy tied up 1-1. It was a 41-minute long game. 42 minutes. 41:59 is the actual game time.
Almost 42.
Yep. 1 second away. But still, that's one of those games where FlyQuest is losing the whole time. Pretty much like Champion Select in the fact that they got a composition that wins all the lanes on Envy's side. They were able to just push it slowly but surely. Then we end up at this point where we're talking about game 3 coming up here.
Yeah.
And now, if Envy were playing a little bit scared with an advantage that big, what happens when they get behind? Like that was a game that, you know, it was clean from Envy. They only gave up 2 deaths, but it's one of those ones.
It was gentleman's agreement clean.
Yeah.
They were too okay with it.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like we're losing, we lost early. Let's just like kind of think about our mistakes for 40 minutes about what happened in that early game. And that kind of is what it looked like for FlyQuest, where they were crumbling slowly, but Envy wasn't really making them crumble any further.
They weren't. And when you start off with 4 kills around the map, it's absurd that things seem like they could go slow at all for your team.
Exactly. 4 minutes in, Niski was able to roam up because of the pressure, gets the first kill, and kills the jungler and the top laner, and then brings his lead back to mid. And then meanwhile, bottom side, simultaneously as that happened, Apollo and Hakuho able to deal the majority of the damage there to the Janna, and then just barely not getting a kill back there while Turtle went really aggressive. And now we're going to check in on the damage. Who did it? Oh, wait. Ah, I lose. Because Niski...
You said 8.
I said 8, but he is... he's below the Syndra and the Orianna, as well as the Varus. The Varus is the other one. So he's at 7. I was 1 away.
Nice try.
Damn.
A very nice try. Envy picking up the win on this one, as you see the post-game breakdown of how that gold went. And where actually maybe they should have taken a win much earlier in pressuring it, because the way they fought the early game is the way that you see a lot of the top 3 teams fight in the early game. Maybe even better than some of the top 3 teams. But the top 3 teams don't take that long in the mid game to do anything. And that's where Envy, if they want to push higher in the spot at this 6-7 to keep going up, they need to be able to close that game up.
Yeah. The crazy thing about that gold graph, too, was it was pretty much a nice 1-to-1 slope of it. Just kept going and going and going. They got like 500 gold lead per minute or something like that. So they end up with like a 20K gold lead at the end there at 42 minutes. So it's like, okay, where was the issue? What happened? It was a smooth game. You never like lost a team fight and then you had to get back into it. You never lost a Baron and then had to get back into it, right? It's like, it took them way too long for that type of result.
Well, you can see the safety in the numbers. 15-2. Who died? The Gnar, Seraph, the guy that jumps in to try and initiate the fight. The rest of the team, 0 deaths. It just continues to show you how safe they tried to play this game. And while it's great, the win is great. You feel like your team comes out of this a little stressed with that's the way it happened, even though 15-2, it feels like we did good with a 24,000 gold lead.
Yeah, we did good.
20,000 gold. Oh, yeah. I like it. Great job. Great job. But looking to see what FlyQuest could do on the way back. They seem to have a bit more strength early game from red side to be able to mess with Envy, but Envy is still having the early game control. Can FlyQuest get that back to start their smooth road at the end of the split? Early game for them.
And you want to keep that momentum up, right? This kind of match decider here is big for both these teams because it puts FlyQuest within 2 matches away from Envy, and this may be one of the last ones that Envy's able to get in terms of they're playing a bottom of the standings teams, as opposed to those top 4, which is their remaining 4 matches after this one.
We will have to see who can take it. The teams are all tied up, but only one can claim the win. I promise. Meet us back here for Game 3 of FlyQuest versus Team Envy. Don't go anywhere.